give this a minute here to catch up. Good evening. Lenny looks handsome back there. Oh, I got quite a few things to talk about tonight.
Sorry.
Kelly's watching a commercial. Hey, Tim, Anthony, William, Bo.
That just goes to show you how long it takes for this to connect with me sitting right next to you.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, man. It was a little warm in the sun today, but it wasn't too bad. Garden's growing like crazy. We've been down there doing some work on it. So if you're a member of our Patreon, you know about some of the discoveries that we found today on that bus, and I'll kind of get into that because I don't really have time to, I don't want to mess with editing the video tonight, so you're going to get a video tomorrow of everything, but I'll just kind of recap it and talk about some of the stuff on it. So I knew, I had a feeling deep down that when that bus came in that it looked too clean, because it was just supposed to be a real easy job. You know, we were supposed to just service it, oil change, you know, and then you wanted us just to look over, you know, inspect some stuff on it. Oil change on the Detroit 8V71, changing filters, fuel filters, the generator, changing the oil and filter on the generator. And then he had a couple little things like air leaks that he was a little worried about and stuff. They weren't major. The front suspension would come down after, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes after shutdown or something like that. So that's pretty quick, but that's not like a horrible, horrible leak. The left side suspension would come down, and that was another, you know, that one took maybe an hour and a half before it came down. So, you know, I got into it, did the oil change, got looking at things, trying to set the brakes, lubing everything up. And as you saw in that one video, the one tag brake was ready to bust into two. The two clamshell halves, the clamp that holds them together, was completely rusted right down the seam. And the very next time that brake would have been actuated, I suspect it would have disintegrated. But the reason that it was like that is because the tag axles were completely inoperable. So neither tag axle brake worked on the bus. So I had to kind of dig into that and find out why. And it's kind of a weird, like MCI 7s are not all the same. They made multiple versions of that bus they were like learning what to do. So the braking systems are not the same on all of them, so you know, the book's not uniform for every single model. The book that I had didn't cover that specific brake system that was in there. So I get into the tag axle, inspecting it to find out what's going on. And neither tag axle's working. I couldn't really find any, there was no hoses that were bad. There was nothing, just disconnected and hanging there. I'm like, what's going on with this? And then looking at the book, it turns out that there is a pressure limiting valve in the system from the tag axle. So we finally found the book that went from that showed it from the brake relay valve going to this limiting pressure valve, then to the tag axles. Once I found that, I disconnected an air hose and I blew through it and had Kelly figure out where the air was coming from. I'm like, there's got to be something, because it went to a hard line and it ran through a chase. And I'm like, where does that go to? Where's it at? And I found that pressure limiting valve, and there was nothing on it. But then there's nothing on the brake relay valve that's supposed to go to the tag axle. So that somebody purposely disabled the brakes on the bus. And he's owned the bus for years. So he's never had brakes on. It's been in other shops multiple times. They never took the time to make sure that the brakes were all working or anything like that. It just, you know, it kind of bugs me that somebody would have done that on purpose. I can't imagine. I mean, only very few circumstances could I understand disabling a braking system on a bus. You know, you're broke down on the side of the highway and it's very dangerous, and if you got to disconnect one brake can to get it off the highway or something like that, in that kind of a circumstance, I would think, yeah, that's completely acceptable to do that. You're safer. You know, missing a brake is not safe, but being stuck on the side of the highway is not safe either. But then you would immediately fix that. So for some reason, something went wrong with the brakes. I mean, that's the only reason they would disconnect it, right? And completely remove all evidence that there was even anything there. I mean, they put plugs in it and that was it. So I mean, I can't answer why it got done. How long ago it got done, I can tell you it's been many, many, many years ago. And the tag axle doesn't do, you know, it doesn't do a whole lot of the braking of the bus. It's probably not the worst thing in the world, but you know, if you have an extra 15 or 20 feet of stopping distance in a panic stop, I think that's really important. And anything that you can have is there. So now I have to recreate everything that's missing. So, you know, I don't have pictures. If somebody here has an MC7 that's a 1971 prior, was it prior to May? Or was it post-May?
The diagram we were looking at was for May 31st, I believe.
After May 31st, 1971.
Because the January one was not correct.
Yeah, so it was after May. I'd love to have a picture of exactly how that was plumbed out of there. Otherwise, I'm just going to run it out of the relay valve on one of the ports, which I assume that's where it came from. It's a limiting pressure valve that limits the pressure to the tag brakes at 35 psi. So you're not putting 120 psi of air pressure on those little tiny diaphragms. So again, it's not a huge amount of braking, but every little bit helps. So I'm recreating that whole braking system. The other brake was just a disaster. That DD3, you know, it took me 10 seconds into the brake check that should normally be part of a pre-trip inspection. So when the owner does pick it up, I'm going to go through with him how to do a proper pre-trip inspection on the bus so that he would be able to identify those problems himself. If you step and hold on the brake pedal, you should not lose air pressure. The air pressure should stay. Like when you first step on the pedal, it'll come down just a little bit, maybe 5 psi or something like that, because that's the air going from the tanks all the way into the, I just saw somebody post Wolf Creek Pass. I love that song. Yeah, but you step on the pedal and hold it down, the air pressure will drop just a little bit and then stop and stay there. It should not continue to go down. And with that air leak in the diaphragm that it had with the service brakes, it would have just continued to go down and down and down and down and down. I didn't have to even go in there and watch the gauge go down to know that it was doing it. I could hear it. As soon as I had Kelly step on the pedal, psh, I'm not supposed to hear that. Figured out which one it was, took it apart. I think it's been like that for a long time. He had that bus in another shop within the last 12 months, and there was a problem with the parking brake on it, and the parking brake came off and the bus rolled away and crashed into 2 newer Prevos on the lot there where it was at. And that shop, I guess they didn't want to work on it anymore. You know, obviously that sucks for them. They probably had to file an insurance claim for that. I think that's under their insurance. So I mean, that sucks that happened, but they should have immediately said, hey, there's something wrong with these brakes. Let's fix them. The amount of oil and the hole in that diaphragm tells me that that thing has had a hole in it for a long time. And that shop let it go out of there like that. And I'm kind of upset that they would have done that. But they just wanted it out of there, and it was, you know, to them it was just a liability, and it was, you know, maybe they didn't want to touch it at that point. Maybe they're not responsible if they didn't touch it, but regardless. That's a word, right? Yeah, regardless. Irregardless is not a word. Found the leak on that. Started taking the diaphragm that apart. Got it all the way apart today. There's multiple broken parts and missing parts inside of there. And that brake chamber was way out of adjustment as well. I tried to show it in that video that I posted where I held a wrench next to it so you could see how far the travel of the push rod was going. It was going really, really far. It should not go that far. So the bus has 6 brakes on it, okay? 2 front tires, the drive wheels, and then the tag axles. So the 2 tag axles weren't working. The left rear brake had a bad diaphragm, so it wasn't working well at all. It wasn't a whole lot of, some said robo-color, like I'm really gonna answer that. The hole in there, so that one wasn't working very well. So we're gonna say he had 3 out of his 6 brakes working. So that's 50% of his braking. For more than a year would be my guess that that's been like that. The other thing is then today, now that I have that right wheel off, I've got the bus kind of leaned a little bit towards the passenger side. And his brand new tires, I see oil running out of the brake drum itself, dripping down the brake drum and coming all the way running down the wheel. And there's actually a puddle about that big on the ground, on the concrete pad of axle lube there, that's coming out of the wheel seal. So the one good drive brake that he had, which is going to be most of his braking at that point, actually has a wheel seal leak. And he did just have those replaced. So there might be an issue in there with bearings or something. I haven't torn it apart yet. It happens to be the one side that I don't have the wheels off of. So I was kind of waiting for tomorrow to go ahead and tear into that, because when I discovered that wheel seal leak, it was late in the afternoon and the sun was on that side of the bus and I didn't want to be in the sun. I mean, I feel real bad for them. It's a great bus. They're super great people. Their music is awesome. I love bluegrass music. Unfortunately, their bill is going, you know, up and up by the day. Every time I look at something else, it's like, what else is going to be wrong? I feel terrible, but I can't not look for problems, because there's certain things I could put off. Like I could say, you know, this needs to be done. Well, like that transmission filter, that needs to be changed. He told me to go ahead and change it. But something like that, I could be like, you know what, you'll be fine. You know, let's leave that on there for a couple months, and then you can, you know, save some money and get that done. But the brakes, I can't screw around with that. You know, it comes in here, the tag axle brakes aren't working, have been purposely disconnected for some unknown reason. And I don't know what the next thing is going to be. I went ahead and ordered that pressure regulating valve, that pressure limiting valve that goes on the tag brakes, because in my mind, that's the only thing in the system that could go wrong that would make them disconnect the tag system, would be that. And maybe that thing went gone, it was given full pressure and the tags were locking up every time or something like that maybe. I don't have an explanation for it, but it was only like a $35 or $40 part. And by the time I go, you know, I'm hooking everything back up together, I don't want to have it and then have that valve be bad and then have to tear into it. It would be 3 times as much labor cost if I had to put it together, take it back apart and put it together again. I would rather just put the new one on, you know that it's good, especially because his oil system has, or his air system, his oil system, that's what it should be called. His air system has contamination in it. So I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. So it's gonna be, it's more work than I thought. It's more work than he thought. He is very appreciative that I'm finding all these issues. You know, he's kind of, I think he's a little bit upset, or he hasn't necessarily said to me, but I would be upset if I had it at other shops and nobody noticed for, I forgot how many years he's owned this bus. He owned it and then he sold it and then he owned it again. Yeah, I guess I'm at a loss of words for why somebody would, and if somebody has a better explanation why somebody would disconnect the tags, I have no idea. It's just, that's unbelievable. I know he didn't do it, so and I don't think the shop that he took it to did it. I think that he probably bought it that way, but it's sad to me that nobody noticed that it was like that. And you find all kinds of issues that I find on, you know, how many buses have I worked on and they haven't had wheel seal issues, brake issues? There's so many of them that have that. I don't know. So anyways, yeah, that DD3, the internal spring was broken, the spring that holds the cam locks in place, the little rollers. And I suspect maybe that is why the bus rolled away, because that particular, I think the other brake was out of adjustment pretty far, so it wasn't holding real tight. And then this one, because it didn't have full air pressure going to it because of that massive air leak through the diaphragm, and because that spring wasn't holding the cam rollers all the way in place, I think that's probably what allowed it to roll away. So hopefully we'll have that fixed. I had to order parts. He ordered the diaphragms from somebody else. They're going to be here on Wednesday. And then the other parts, his guy didn't have like the rubber boot for it. Which the one guy that I talked to, he was like, you know, yeah, you can just leave the rubber boot the way it is. It's fine without it. But I'm like, no. That rubber boot is very important on a DD3 because that goes directly inside. There's a grease seal right around it. There's a seal around that the shaft on there. You really need to keep the dirt and stuff out of there or it's potentially going to fail. The boot wasn't very much money. Luke at US Coach, of course, he's got everything. Luke had the boot for it. So I ordered the boot, the broken spring, the retainer for the seal, the limiting switch or pressure, the limiting pressure valve, the wheel seal, the gasket for the axle shaft, and there's another gasket goes for the seal retainer that goes on the back. Oh, hey, I saw it, just got a super chat. Don't feel bad. I'm a mechanic and the stuff I see come through the door is ridiculous. Do the right thing by the client. Yeah. You know, any super chats that I get tonight, I'm going to just take off of the client's bill for this guy. So if anybody does do a super chat tonight, I'm just going to let it go. So Michael, that $5 is actually going to come right off of his bill. So thank you for that. Just trying to help them out any way that I can, because I know that things going to get crazy. Okay, let's see. Am I done talking about what I talked about? He did get a new air compressor, so he's got a new air compressor coming to him. That thing's obviously passing a lot of oil. That was a concern. And then he wanted to change the element inside of the air dryer, but I told him to hold off until the new air compressor gets on there, because it'll just get completely contaminated. So that'll get done, and so on. So
you want me to go back and find questions now?
Yeah, Kelly's gonna go back and try and find some questions. Hopefully we'll go through that, and I don't want to be on here super long tonight.
I was trying to watch comments, but I think Tyler's on here, so he can keep track of that for
Okay.
me. How do I prime a 6V92?
We have several videos that are on priming them. So I mean, if you, hey Andy, thank you for that. I'm sure you know the Bluegrass band will definitely appreciate that. The Farmhands band. That's awful nice of you. If you crack open the return line on it and just pressurize it with a garden sprayer, that's an easy way to do it. You can just push fuel all the way through there, make sure the filters are primed too, but you want to get all the fuel lines themselves primed. I have an actual mechanical pump on mine, or an electric pump on mine that I can flip on, and then I just bar the engine over a couple of revolutions, because the pump inside the engine, you can't really push fuel through it very well. That's an easy way to do it too. But a garden sprayer is a great way to prime it.
Are you coming to Jeff City anytime soon?
Is that George?
No, it's not.
Oh, I want to see George. So this summer we're going to make it out there for sure to go see George. So we'll be in Jefferson City at some point. I saw somebody from Saskatoon.
When are you
Oh
going
no,
to
just
finish the
Saskatchewan.
dually?
That's Tyler's working on that. I'd like to have that down here real soon. We have ordered all the parts for it. The transmission gears and the seals and all that stuff. And so Tyler's tearing it. That was another super chat.
Yep.
I like the Farmhands. Eric, thank you for that donation. Yeah. Hey, every little bit's going to help them. I mean, you know, they're being entertainers. Obviously, the entertainment industry has been destroyed by the COVID thing. So they are really, you know, they haven't been able to get anywhere and sing. Which he sent me a thing. It was funny. He's like, you know, we haven't been able to sing for the last few months or whatever. I said, no, you just haven't been able to sing in front of people. So that's super cool. John Hogstead, another $20 for them. Thank you. That's awesome. Was there just another one on there too?
Yep.
Oh, what does that say? VDV? Is that what it says?
Put your glasses on, they're on your head.
VI. Oh, there's an I in there. VDiv, $25. Keep the music on the road. See, that's awesome. He will be very appreciative of that. And I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on him, because I'm not. All buses that come in here that I work on, you've seen a myriad of problems on them all. But education is something that I really want to try to instill in the bus owners. We have this big loophole in our ownership of them and our privilege to drive them, where we don't have to qualify, you know, we're not required to have a CDL, we're not required for all that stuff, but I still think we need to have the personal responsibility to the other people on the road to still use those same practices and pre-trip inspections and safety and things like that. So hopefully, you know, at some point I want to do a video series specifically on that kind of stuff. I just haven't had time to do it. And I guess I kind of got to be careful for liability. You know, it's kind of a litigious world that we live in. If I tell somebody how to do a pre-trip that's not necessarily right for their version of vehicle or something, I don't want to get in trouble with that kind of stuff either. So I got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
I think you need to mention, though, that he has this bus in the shop every several months.
He takes it to the shops
So it's
all
not
the
his
time.
fault. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's not like this thing's been sitting behind a barn for 20 years. He regularly takes it to mechanics, and how that stuff never got paid attention to. And you know, if somebody brought me something for an oil change, I'm not necessarily going to look at brakes and wheel seals. So you know, you can't blame them all for that. But that, when you have a bus on your property and the parking brake comes off at overnight and it crashes into other buses, you probably should look at the braking system and make sure that everything's okay with it before you tell them to get it out of there. So
What RPM do you cruise at on the highway?
Oh, I will say this though. There's only one small dent in the bus and it completely demolished the Prevos that it hit. So
You're laughing, but
that's
Prevo people are not.
one for old school. Sorry, that's not funny.
What RPM do you cruise at on the highway and at what speed?
Well, it depends. That depends. Normally I like to cruise about 72 miles an hour-ish, which is about 2350 real world RPM, but I've got that, I can take that up to about 2650, go a little bit faster.
Someone's asking, do you have a P.O. box that they could send a little present to?
I don't have a P.O. box.
We can't get one yet.
Oh, my license not changed. Yeah, I don't know that they would let me do that at the post office.
They said we couldn't because you have to have the license.
Yeah, I have to show Tennessee residency or whatever
and
to
we
get.
couldn't do that yet because we don't have, well, we have an address, but we don't have bills here. We have to
Send me a email, scott@busgreasemonkey.com, and I'll get you our address so you can send something too.
Let's see. This person says, I have an eagle I'd like to bring up to you to check out. He's about an hour and a half from us. So Bart Ross.
Okay. Let me know when you want to come, Bart.
Send you an email.
Yeah, send me an email. I can get you. I'm trying to fill in a couple of spots before we go out in July up to Indiana. So if you can come in like next week or something, that'd be really cool. Oh, should I go ahead and announce about our other thing that I talked about yesterday on Patreon?
I don't know what you talked about because I didn't hear any of it.
Oh.
So this is in your head and I know nothing about it.
I talked about what's coming for the property. Oh, okay. You guys have to wait.
I don't even know about this, so go ahead. Let's hear it.
Yes, you do know. Never mind. Okay.
No, I want to hear this.
Let's go to the next question.
No, I'm not going on. I want to hear this.
The suspense. We're getting the electric hooked up soon, so that's our next thing.
If you say so.
Yeah, so we are going to have electric out here because I realize how badly I need electric down at the pad. So I can live perfectly fine up here with our solar, but I need something down there, and I don't want to rely on generators and stuff like that all the time. Plus, Tyler's going to be moving here soon, and we can get, you know, him having his own electricity where he can run air conditioning inside his bus and stuff like that too. So we're going to get the electric hooked up here hopefully within the next few weeks. At least the process started on that. So
make sure you didn't lose any super chats or anything because I haven't been watching that.
I don't think I have.
Okay.
And
I just see all kinds of
just a refresher that any super chats that we get tonight, I'm taking directly off of the client's bill, just to help them out. So if anybody does feel like donating, it's going to go to a really nice cause.
What's the best way to clean a dirty air system out?
Drain your tanks daily. Everything typically goes down to the bottom of the tanks. So as long as your tanks have drains on the bottom, you can do that. And there's several places that you need to drain it and continue to do that. And then just depends on how much stuff you get in the air system. I mean, when I worked on Lance's first bus, I took off his front brake diaphragms and like a pint of oil came out of both of his front brake diaphragms. I was completely shocked by that. But his wet tank on the 4106 was completely filled with oil, like 5 gallons of oil. You've seen that in a couple other videos that I've had. Okay.
Why don't you just put maxi brakes on it?
That'd be a very good question. I don't know if there's complete room in there for a maxi brake. I don't think you would have room to cage them if you had to, because the design, the DD3 is a larger chamber like that, but I think it's a little bit skinnier than the maxi. But again, right at the center, I don't think, right behind it, I don't think there was room to cage them. That's one thing. A DD3 brake chamber, drum roll, if you want to go buy one, they are about $600 each. And that's like the good price. Maybe you could find one for $550 or something like that. They are not cheap. A maxi brake is $35, $40, and a DD3 is $600. And the DD3 is side specific, so there's a left and a right. It has to do with the way where the exhaust port is on there. If you put like a left on the right, you could do that like for a couple of days you know, like an emergency kind of thing to get you through. But if you leave it like that, you're screwed, because the way it ejects everything is it would be turned upside down, and the discharge would be up. It would just get nasty shit in there, water, moisture, rust, all kind. It would never get rid of that. So you don't want to ever mix it up. Plus the air hoses are on the wrong side and all that. It would just be a nightmare. I don't know where I was going with that, but don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but changing them, it's a pain in the ass, and nobody does it. If it was my bus and it fit, I would do it, because I wouldn't want to pay $600 for a thing.
Have you ever taken Lenny up I-70 over the Continental Divide outside of Denver?
Yes. He's been out that way a couple times. He
Someone-
don't like it. He don't like it at all, but he does it.
Someone says, please explain Super Chat.
Super Chat is a little thing in the corner where that dollar sign's at, where you, like, YouTube has your credit card number or something, and you can donate a certain amount of money, which a portion of that does go to YouTube. I think it's
They get 30%.
they get 30% of it. We get 70% of it. And it's just, you could do like a super sticker or super chat, and that highlights your comment, and like for us, it really stands out on the screen, and everybody else. And then we obviously,
you make sure you read all
we
of
make
those.
sure that they all get read, because if somebody took the time to do that.
Make sure your questions are in all caps. Too.
Yeah, if
and
you're
only your questions, please.
If you're typing a question, please do it in all capital letters. That makes it stand out really easy for her. But if you're communicating or answering somebody else or something, please do not type in all caps, because then she's going to read it, but she doesn't want to. She only wants to try to read the questions right now. So all caps only for questions. Yeah, YouTube gets 30%, which they get like 50% of our ad fees. So I think 30% sounds better.
Any plans to come through Georgia soon?
No, this year is so screwed up. I have no idea.
Well, if we're making it down to Florida, yes, we will be.
Oh, we'll go.
Going
We will be
through, but
going.
we
Yeah.
won't not necessarily stop.
My daughter just last night decided, after talking to people, relatives, and people that were going to be coming from out of town to their wedding in October, that people weren't going to be coming. So they went ahead and got a hold of the wedding venue, and they've moved we've already paid for the wedding venue. So they're moving the date at the wedding venue to next year. And they're just gonna have a big reception, but they're still gonna go ahead and get married on the same date, but we're just gonna go down to Florida, and they're gonna get married on the beach, the same date and everything.
Our friend Sean's gonna do it for
And
us.
our friend Sean, the pastor down there, who's got we rescued that Eagle bus. If you've never watched that video, it's a really fun video, I think, to watch. That Eagle had been sitting for a long time. We had a lot of mechanical problems with it, but that was a really fun one. That's the one where we used his belt to try to get off the fuel filter, and then his belt broke, and then he was screwed because he had nothing to hold up his pants. That was a fun trip. I just got a super chat here from, I gotta put my glasses on, Detecting Cornwall. Thank you. That's awesome. And then there was another one from Rudy. Thanks for keeping the ranch hands safe. I'm glad Tommy sent you to see that. Hey, Rudy, thank you. Yeah, because if you don't, they were referred to us by Tom, who did our theme song. So that's really cool.
Are you going to dig in the side of the hill for a storage hole shelter?
No, Kelly's going to let me put a small shed type.
I'm going to let you?
I don't know. It sounded bad. It sounded worse than I meant.
No, we're going to put something down there.
She doesn't want a container down there. Tyler thought about maybe just putting a job box or something down there, but I think we're going to put a small little structure down there, a nice little shed or something. I got a couple super chats here. One came from Andy Godfrey, $20, and then another one from 72 plus hour BOB. Fixed income, but maybe I can have some. Hey guys, everything helps. Like I said, tonight I'm donating all the super chat money directly to the band. Just take it off their bill. So right now we are at $162. So, you know, that's almost 2 hours worth of labor for them, and that's really nice. And
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I'm sure that they would say thank you too, but thank you from me for doing that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't get to the next question yet. Will you still be working with Bruce Wilson?
I haven't heard from him. I told him I need like a 2-week notice, and then it needed to be in June. So we're kind of getting to the hump where that's probably not going to happen. You know, I told him I wanted to have air conditioning down there, and somebody told me that he does have air now, but you know, because beginning of July we're leaving, so other than that I won't be going back through Florida, and
until October.
Yeah, not till October. So I just saw a couple more super chats come through there. Thomas Wilson, a $50 super chat. That is super kind, man. And Glenn Hogue, $40 super chat. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy about you guys doing that. That's I feel bad that their bill keeps going up and up and up, and I'm like, I can't stop looking for the problems though. That's
and you haven't even recorded all your hours.
I didn't.
You probably only recorded about half of your hours so far.
Well, I didn't. Any of the time I spent investigating why those DD3s weren't working, I didn't charge them any of that labor. And I did spend a couple hours figuring that out, and not to mention time in the books and stuff like that too, going through.
On the phone with Luke.
And yeah, on the phone with Luke at US Coach, and he's super awesome for, you know, he let me talk to Bill, his mechanic, and you know, I sent some pictures of what I had, what was there, what was supposed to be there, kind of thing. And yeah, I probably have 5 extra hours and that kind of stuff that I didn't bill them for. I didn't feel fair billing my client for my education for climbing underneath his bus, trying to figure out how it was supposed to be. I just knew that it wasn't there, and it didn't help that the book that I had didn't even cover his year of models MC7.
Just had something else.
Yeah, there was another super chat on there from Fred. Hi from Austin. Thank you, Fred. Rootsol. I probably should have not even tried to say your last name. I probably ruined it.
Okay, you ready for the next question?
Yes.
How were the Detroits linked in the Army tank, or was it one for the left and one for the right?
Nope, they're linked. They're linked together. It's called a conjoiner? Combiner? I think it's called a conjoiner. Basically kind of a transmission with 2 separate clutches on it with a single output shaft. And I know that you have to kind of be careful doing certain things with that. It was kind of a complicated thing. We didn't have to make any adjustments on there, but he did have a problem when he first got it. He told me a whole story about how the one engine would just die all the time, and it had something to do with that conjoiner wasn't set up right. And he read the book and figured it all out, and he had a couple of mechanics come out and they couldn't figure it out, and he figured it out by reading the book and got it going. So
what is your elevation?
I do not know. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, we tried to figure that out and it wasn't working right.
Yeah, I'll look it up sometime.
Do you answer phone calls for jobs? What is your schedule in the future?
I don't typically answer my phone. Matter of fact, my phone doesn't even ring unless you're in my contacts. It'll send you right to voicemail.
But you do listen to all that.
I do try to listen to them all, but I can't return them all. I get a lot of phone calls too.
Some people just want to talk.
And it's not unusual for me to get 1,000 emails in a day too. So if you sent me an email and I've not responded to you, I'm sorry. There's only one of me and thousands of people that want to talk to us and send us stuff. So that does make it hard. But I really do try. Especially if it's something that's really important. My Patreon is a good way to contact me. If you're a Patreon member, you can post messages and stuff on Patreon. That's a little bit easier way to communicate. And then if you want to schedule service, we have an actual video that tells you exactly what you need to do. You do send us an email with a very specific subject line, and that'll go into a separate folder, and then I just kind of add you to my list. Right now, if you're wanting to come here to the property and get service, you know, let me know that, because you'll kind of jump ahead on the list on some stuff. It's a little easier for us to do stuff here right now than to hit the road. I just saw a couple super chats.
Should you go back far enough?
I don't think I acknowledged Fred Hammonds. So Fred Hammond, thank you for that. That's awesome. And then there's another super chat from Joe Valanza. I am terrible with names, man. Thank you guys. And then Haas 2472, another one too. That's awesome. Just so you know, we're at $327 in super chats right now. That's going to come off of the bill for the farm hands. They're gonna be super happy when they hear that. Yeah. I don't think they're watching. I haven't seen him comment, or I haven't caught his name, but.
How's the garden doing?
The garden is insane. We've got squash that are
they're not ready yet, but they're getting huge.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're big. They're manly.
They're like on steroids. Or maybe I shouldn't say on steroids.
Yeah, no, the squash are really large. The zucchini are all, there's flowers on the zucchini, so they're going to start.
Not zucchini.
Cucumber. Oh, cucumber. Sorry, my bad. The tomato plants are almost like 3.5 foot tall. They have just.
And the beans are.
The beans are insane. We've had to change some things down around there with the fencing that we had because some certain plants are really, really large.
They're breaking out.
We've been eating lettuce like crazy out of there. But then that one bed, those 2 beds that have that dirt that's not as good as the other dirt, that stuff is just so ridiculously small. I got to go back here because we had a couple of super chats come through while I talk a lot. Zeus, Jonathan from New Jersey, always try to help out those in need. Hey, that's awesome. And then James Hayes, Judy and Jim, good friends are hard to find. Hey, man. Yeah, we're at $477 right now.
That is all. Their whole bill might end up being paid for.
I don't think it's gonna get that. I wouldn't go that far. There goes another super chat. I don't know how much money that one works out to. That's a Norway. Torga 74. Hi from Norway. Nice work as always. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. You guys are awesome. Everybody who has, and don't feel bad if you can't afford to donate to them. That's just send them some good thoughts. That's awesome too.
Since you have the 360 camera, are they worth getting? Yes.
One big dent in the side of your bus from hitting something because you didn't realize it was there. That 360 camera, it totally rocks. Backing up, pulling into a gas station, all that stuff. I love having the 360-degree camera, and I don't think it ruined. Well, it's kind of ironic that when I put it on there, I thought it's going to ruin the lines of the bus. And then I did that to the roof. But no, they're really small cameras. You can't even see them. So like right now, that would be the last thing that you notice about the bus is the little 360 cameras. Sorry.
How many gallons is your tank and how many miles do you get out of a full tank?
I typically don't go over like 700 miles, but it holds about 100 gallons. So 70. The one tank is 78 gallons or 79 gallons is what the book says it is, but I never get more than like 66 usable out of it. And then the other tank is 40 gallons, but I get about 35 out of it. But I try not to get it really low because when it runs out, that just sucks. So.
What got you started on working on DDs?
I bought a bus that needed work on the DD.
Are you coming to Columbus, Ohio anytime? We have a bunch of people on our list that way.
Man, I got like...
We probably have 20 people in Ohio.
20 people in Ohio on the list. Man, that's crazy.
Probably.
I just don't think it's going to be this year.
We'll have to see.
It's going to be... I got so much stuff I got to do. I was reading an article today talking about the next wave of the COVID-19 and if shutdowns happen again, that they're going to be worse this time and all that. And if that actually happens, it could just be that was like a CNN article or something. I shouldn't watch or read a CNN article, but anyways.
Would you work on a 3208 Caterpillar? I can't talk tonight.
I don't, but Tyler would. And he'll be here coming up in, when is he moving here? August?
Yes.
August, he'll be here.
Does that wedding date change or free up to sell your house sooner? I wouldn't do that to them.
No, they got enough stuff going on. I don't need to kick them out of their house. But if they want to move out earlier, maybe we should ask them.
How can I know if my bus is pre-war? Where's the serial number?
It's a silver sides. It's underneath the driver compartment. It's stamped in the frame underneath that little door that's under where the driver sits. It's stamped right in there. And then there should be a tag on the dash, but it's probably been removed. Fred Stevens, another super chat to the reduction fund. We're at $500 off their bill. He's going to shit a brick. I'm happy for him. I'm super happy.
What's the plan with Lenny's rear suspension issue since it's getting lower and closer to the tires?
So Sage, Mr. Awesome Sage. I can't say enough nice things about Sage. Not only is he a great client, he's a great friend. He's really helped me out with a lot of things on Bus Grease Monkey Forum. He also said I could have his old rear leaf springs off of his bus, which his rear leaf springs were not broken like his front ones were. And his bus was not saggy like mine, so I really think I'm gonna just put his used rear ones on my bus, and hopefully that's gonna fix me up. So we have another super chat on there.
I saw one pop up while you were talking just now.
Luke S. Bloxam. Thank you, Scott, for taking good care of the group. Hey, thank you, Luke. I feel really good about everybody that's donated tonight. $527 that's going to come off of the band's bill, and you know that, like I said, you know they don't have a lot of money right now. They haven't been out touring and stuff, and they just want to go out and perform for people and raise other people's spirits and let people have a good time and stuff. So that's awesome. Super excited.
How do I find year a bus is made?
How do you find what?
Year. The year.
By the serial number, probably. What brand model is it? And the serial number should tell you what year it was made usually. All of that stuff is available. If you go to the Bus Grease Monkey forum, you could probably get on there and ask that question. We do have like the GM registry list on there where you can look up all the GM buses and know what was what serial numbers were made for what years and stuff like that. But all that stuff is available. There was another super chat from the Speed Bump 95. So I'm gonna, I know you all haven't been here from the beginning, so just real quick, I'm gonna take a second and tell you about what happened on the bus today. I found other problems. Their bill went up higher. Other things had to get replaced. That one leaky brake canister needed more parts than just that, and those are really expensive. The tag axle brakes had been purposely disconnected off the bus who knows how many years ago, so it's been driving around for years with no tag axle brakes whatsoever. So I had to buy all the components and everything to reassemble and hope that everything, you know, find out. I don't know why it was disconnected, so and I don't want to tear too much into it until I get that stuff on there to see why, if it's working or not. But I have to re-hook everything back up on it. And we know that one brake chamber that was ready to come apart, that one's getting replaced. There's a leaky wheel seal on there now too. Just other stuff. So the band's bill is just going up and up and up. And so we said we were gonna, any super chats that we had tonight, we were just gonna donate and take off of the bill for the band's bus. So several people have done super chats tonight. I don't even know how many, it's countless, but right now we're at $552 that's coming off of their bill just to help them out. I think that's super great.
Where would you recommend looking for a bus?
And it's getting really dark out here. I don't know if you can tell.
Keep going.
Where would I recommend getting a bus?
Looking for one.
Looking for Craigslist. Search all Craigslist. Craig's Bus Sales is a Facebook page that people post things from Craigslist all over the place with buses. That's where I would start.
Have you had any more critters make their way into the bus?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Sorry, I'm looking for the next question.
I don't know how many.
What is the orange glow from the front of Lenny?
That is a solar light.
We bought one to see how they would.
They're very dim.
Yeah, it's cute, but I wanted to get a bunch of them and string them up out here, but it's not bright enough. For
I think it's rated in candlewatt power. 1. 1/2.
We're gonna get regular string lights because that would be too expensive to do with that.
Oh, could you imagine if we would have bought like 10 of those?
No, like, they were like $20 a piece.
I know.
So no. Sorry, I'm looking for the next one.
That's all right. I can just get regular lights, party lights, and hang them up and plug them into the bus, because then that's still a solar light.
That's what I want. Have you ever had any problems with algae growing in your fuel tanks?
Yes, absolutely. It's not algae, though. People call it algae, but algae, by definition, requires sunlight to grow, and there's no sunlight getting into a tank. But there's a biological growth that can happen inside diesel fuel, so you got to get a biocide that'll kill it. It's like a slimy, nasty stuff, and yeah, it plugs up fuel filters all the time. So I definitely treat my tanks with a biocide to prevent that, but I've had it before on this bus, even this one here.
Does Tyler do bus electrical?
Yeah, Tyler's a great person to do electrical work. He's very good at troubleshooting and wiring and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know how many times the Bus Grease Monkey song has been downloaded?
I do not know. I assume that Tom will let me know at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if those statistics are on there or not. The Speed Bump 95 just did a super chat for $25, and then Tim Watson did another one for 10. Thank you guys. Yeah, we're getting close to the $600 mark. $587.
Have you invited Phil to come down yet?
You know, it's more fun keeping count of the money when it's not going to me, when you're giving it to somebody else. That's more fun. Sorry.
Have you invited Phil to come down yet?
No, but Phil's welcome here. I haven't talked to him, but that'd be fun. I should have Phil come down. That would be a fun couple days of video if Phil came and visited.
Have you headed on the highway since the last panels installed?
No, it's gone up and down the hill, and it went about 15 miles an hour down the hill and 10 miles an hour up the hill. It's not going to affect it though. It'll be completely fine.
Oh, what happened to the baby birds?
Is that what somebody asked?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Snake had a meal.
Poor baby birds. What is the total repair cost on the bus? Well, we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet, and I'm still tearing stuff apart, unfortunately. So it's going to be a couple thousand, between $1,500 and $2,000 is my guess. So minus the almost $600 that we've raised tonight.
How's
I mean,
Tyler's...
you're looking at anywhere from 25% to 30% of their bill. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. How's Tyler's bus coming along? It's the same.
Yeah, it's older. It's just sitting there. I'm not messing with it. That's Tyler's money pit.
Yeah, I see that he said, I have a pile of parts to install, but need the time to get down there.
Yeah.
Where do all the used fuel from the buses go to?
I'm going to flip the camera around so you can actually watch.
Well, we're almost caught up here, so just finish up.
Sorry, what now?
Where do all the used fuel from the buses go to?
The used oil I take to O'Reilly's. I took another 5 gallons in today. You're supposed to be able to take 5 gallons in a day there for waste oil recycling, and a couple days I've done. One day I did 10 gallons and they took it, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. John Flynn just did a super chat, $50 Canadian. I'm not sure what that works out to, but I think that's pretty close. And then Al Wright, helping good people support good people. Hey, that's awesome, guys. We're at $644 now that's going to come off their bill. As if you're a musician and you understand the joy that they bring to people, I mean, I can't really think what other purpose, like a bluegrass band touring, they're not going to make a ton of money selling out giant stadiums and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're just bringing entertainment to people and a little bit of joy into people's lives. So anything we can do to help them out, that's awesome.
Okay, you ready to finish up since it's so dark
Yes,
out
we
now?
got to finish up before I disappear.
Okay, one more question here. Someone wants to know, what does the 71 on 671 and 871 designate?
That's how many cubic inches per cylinder in the engine. So every single cylinder is 71 cubic inches. Yep.
Okay.
All right, we're caught up on questions. No more questions. Don't ask any more questions. Although Tim watches that one. I hope you will ask them to play for your page.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And I'm sure they'd be more than willing to do something like that too. I mean, they're super nice guys, and I dreaded every time I had to pick up the phone today and call them or text them and say this is wrong too. I just hate it because I wanted to not have anything cost a lot of money. I wanted to just find almost nothing wrong with the bus, make sure it was in good shape for them, sign off on it and be like it's good to go. But unfortunately, that's not. The Farmhands is the name of the band. The Farmhands Quartet is the name, and you can find them on the farmhandsquartet.com, I think is their website, and then they're also on YouTube as well. And
I thought it was
Tim,
under Tim.
yeah,
Tim Graves.
Hey, there's George.
Hey, George.
Miss you, George. We're definitely going to get out there to see you this year. It's going to happen. You can't really see us right now.
That's why we're going to get going.
I don't know if it's pretty dark. But again, thanks. We're almost 800 people right now. We raised $644 that we're going to be able to take off of the bill for the Farmhands. they're absolutely going to love that. So I don't know if you, there is no mosquitoes. Those
No.
mosquito stick things that we've got are incredible. There are no mosquito. I'd be out here slapping. I got no spray on, nothing. So big thumbs up to those mosquito things. The Spartan, I forgot what they were called, but yeah, no mosquitoes whatsoever. Hey, you could bring that little light over here. We could light it up and keep going.
Yeah, we can. Not.
But yeah, everybody that donated super chats tonight were taken directly off the bill for the farmhands. So we're at $644 is going to come off of their bill. And then so now we're at $659 because Booshies. I don't know, man, I'm probably screwing up everything. Great work, Scott. Joel. Hey, Joel, thank you for that. Joe says don't stop the stream. You can't even see me anymore, though.
Maybe they prefer it that
yeah,
way.
maybe you prefer that. Oh, wait, let me turn the camera around, see if you can see something outside.
I don't.
Hey, you can look at the sky. How's that? And then I'll continue to go. 5 more minutes. I saw somebody comment about doing an oil burner. I'm not going to do a waste oil burner. Was that a bat?
Bats have been flying around.
Yeah, but it just went across the camera.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Yeah, I got enough firewood out here. If I want to put in, I'll just put a wood burner. I got to get rid of the wood at some point. So, and the oil, I mean, I could do that, but I got a guy. I just totally drew a blank on his name. I feel so bad. The guy that brought us out the burn barrels, Sal. He's going to bring us some more, and we're going to use them as waste oil barrels. So we're going to save them, and then hopefully I'll be able to sell that waste oil, or at least save it on the property. So I got two barrels coming. Yeah, there are lightning bugs out here too.
Is a 12,000 BTU AC enough, or is it better to go with an 18,000?
Well, my bus is really small. So in a silver sides, the 12,000 BTU has been perfect. But if your bus is a little bigger, like a 4106 has got higher ceilings and things like that, and bigger windows, I have the small windows, you might want to do something a little bit bigger. But in a silver size, we've been, 95-degree days, we've been perfect inside the bus with just that one 12,000 BTU mini split.
Bo Noble says, hey, no dogs barking. I think he just jinxed us.
He probably did.
Oh, someone says, start Lenny and turn his headlights on. It will solve the issue. The lighting issue.
No, he's facing the other way. Yeah, the name of the group is the Farmhands Quartet. So they're a bluegrass group, and they obviously haven't been able to make, and I don't know that they even make money when they do their touring and stuff like that. I think that, I mean, I don't know their business, but other musicians that I know, when you go out on the road like that, you're doing it because you love to do it, and you're hoping to cover most of your bills, but I don't even know if that happens. But they are out there, making people happy and raising spirits at a time when people need it. So country music. Oh, it's not country music, it's bluegrass music. Jim A, another super chat for $26. So we're almost to $700 now. $679 that we've raised for them. It's going to come off their bill.
Okay. Are you driving your bus to your septic to dump, or are you using the macerator pump and a long hose?
The macerator pump and the long hose.
Well, it has to get down towards it.
Yeah, but I need to get more gravel up there, and once I do that, then I'll be comfortable driving the bus there. But right now I don't want to get the bus stuck like that one day we got the pickup truck stuck up there. I don't want to do that because it's got that real clay soil up there. So we're at $679 right now that's coming off their bill.
Heard the owl lately?
Yeah, we heard him last night.
We pretty much hear him every night. I'm surprised we haven't heard him yet tonight. Average life for 6V92 for cranked bearings versus replacing the liners.
Oh, 4-to-1 bearing replacement over liner wear. Something crazy. They're terrible. 150,000 miles, you should be inspecting your bearings on a 92. And I think if you do, you'll shit a brick when you see them. I think I just heard coyotes.
I was going to say, I think those are coyotes I hear off in the distance.
Yeah.
Is Kelly driving Lenny around the property for practice?
No, I don't want to teach her how to drive the bus here on the property.
There's no real where.
I tried to roll the thing down the hill today, just without the engine running, but I was going to leave it in first gear and just let the engine and the transmission
You're
kind of...
going too slow.
She didn't like it, so she threw it into... She just grabbed the gear shifter and threw it into neutral down the hill. I'm like, no. So she throws it into Georgia overdrive because I was going too damn slow.
You were like a turtle.
I was trying to save gas.
How do you think I'd go down the hill like that?
I don't know. You do it in neutral and just fly down the hill?
I park it right where it's steep to go down when I turn it off, and then when I know I'm getting back in, I just put the parking brake off and go down the hill.
Wow.
You're a wuss.
I'm a wuss.
You've been in the car with me when I've done it.
I never pay attention, and no, I don't think you ever went that fast. Kelly throwing it in Georgia overdrive.
There we go.
Oh, another super chat from Louie. A little to get started. I'll be needing help bringing my 1968 Flexible from Kansas City to Portland, Oregon. 1960. I'm trying to think what model Flex that might be, but yeah, that's cool. My sister lives in Portland. We were just out there last year. I love Portland. It's a cool city. And then there was another super chat. James Hayes.
They're doing
Again. Judy and Jim, go for more.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, that's awesome. We did break the $700 mark now. I can't wait to call him and tell him. I'm sure he was a little stressed today, so letting him know that people donated that kind of money tonight, that's heartwarming.
Yes. I do believe. Oh, there you go. There's another one.
Jeez. Earl Elfrink. I don't. $50 super chat. Super kind.
Okay, someone wants to know, need any pics of MC9 relay valve where the tag axes go?
Yeah, the MC9, they just come right off of the relay valve and go directly to the tag axle.
They're asking you if you need any pictures.
Oh, no, I know how the
totally
MC9 is. This is just weird on this MC7 because they go to that limiting pressure regulator and then out. Well, I'm super touched tonight though by everybody. You guys are awesome. Every one of you. For the most part, our channel is super positive. We get a lot of great comments. Honestly, I don't have to delete a whole bunch of stuff anymore. Most of the bad people have been, either blocked from the channel or something. So, and we don't get a lot of, political talk and stuff like that. So everybody's real nice. I think we have a great kind of a family feel to our channel, and all of you are to thank for that.
Can the 6V92 bearings be changed without pulling the heads?
Yes. Yeah, you just got to pull the oil pan off. I have several videos of that.
Any shooting stars? I don't even see any stars tonight.
Oh, there's one. Make a wish. That's actually a planet because it's yellow.
Usually we see quite a bit out here.
We will in a little bit. It's just now. I see one over there
one
twinkling.
there
Yeah. Sorry. We have stars. I don't think you guys can see them yet though.
Probably not. Usually you could see them really good.
The
So I
phone's,
guess it's just not
the phone's not
perfect
going to pick it up. We are at 764. I feel like a PBS channel right now.
You need to get up and do a song and dance for us.
No, not doing a song and dance.
Are you sure?
I am.
Tell them about your dream.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You want to hear about a ridiculous dream that I had? I can do this because my face isn't on the camera. I had a dream the other night, and for some reason I was on stage singing Proud Mary and doing every dance like Tina Turner does, and I woke up in the middle of that. I mean, I was shaking my booty and everything. It was a ridiculous dream.
I played Proud Mary for him, and I tried to get
She
him to dance.
did the very first thing after I tell her about my dream, she plays Proud Mary.
He wouldn't dance for me. Someone says I would donate more to see you dance. He won't do it.
Not tonight.
Oh, I heard that. Not tonight. Scott has the weirdest dream.
Oh, I do have the weirdest dreams. The most bizarre, outrageous, crazy, crazy dreams.
Okay, are you ready to finish up?
Yeah, I think we're gonna finish up here. We've been on for an hour now. We're still almost 700 people watching, so that's great. I appreciate everybody so much. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight, watching, sticking with us here, and listening to everything. And tomorrow I'll have a video to post of the of all the stuff that I found today that was wrong and stuff like that, and then the other solutions that we end up finding tomorrow. So safety is real important to me, so that's why I feel bad about, you know, these are things that couldn't be avoided and need to get taken care of on this bus. So, and everybody that stepped up and donated to them tonight, it's super heartwarming just to know that you've done that. I know that money's tight for everybody right now, so you know, any kind of donation was incredible, and they're going to be super excited about that. So I don't think they're on here yet. I don't think he knows, but maybe he does. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all, and we'll have a video tomorrow for you. Take care. Good night.